All right. So if early content feels easier now, but you're not sure what to push next, this video is for you. I'll break down exactly what to focus on after the early game so you can progress instead of stalling out. I got some notes here from some of the comments from some of the earlier videos. Shout out to Nemo. So Nemo says, in order to start accruing arcade tuning, you must reach mastery rank 15 and do Sigma Sector storyline. Void Vessel can be opened up early, but you will not get arcade tuning XP until you open up Sigma Sector. I've pinned this at the top of my comments on the video that it was associated with so that you will know it's in the earlier steps. I want to say it's part of the Stop Wasting Time video. So in order for you to get the arcade tuning, you got to complete that whole route going up that way. Master rank 15. So the way that it's going to end up going, you do the whole route. That's going to end you at completing the campaign. Void Vessel will open up early. You're not getting arcade tuning experience from that until you end up doing the Sigma Sector quest, whatever that involves. It's hard to remember most of the things when it comes to getting towards endgame without the community's help, and I appreciate Nemo for doing that. Now, completing the Sigma Sector and getting to that point, that's mid game. Sigma Sector is like a point to let you know that, hey, your build needs to get elevated to the next point. And bouncing back between Sigma Sector and the Void Vessel, doing those things, that's going to get you right. Here's what your character probably looks like by the end. We're not using these components and external components exactly, but a rough idea of what your stuff may look like. So you have the components that you want, the set that you want. You have the build that you primarily are going to run with this setup, right? You have your reactor. It's kind of tuned in. It may not be all the way maxed out. Your weapons are looking okay, and the weapons need to be looking good enough to where if you're needing to use it, then you can use the weapon just in case your build isn't completely optimized for the mana consumption and all that you kind of need to do, right, in order to do the end game. And then when we get into Axiom Planes, that is us getting to the end game. All right. So that's getting us to the end game so we can go ahead and try to fight Wall Crasher, do these things, start grinding out for the last little bits of experience that we need. All right, so this is going to be a little bit more walking around Albion, right, in this little section so you know how it's going to go about. So you've come over to the weapons tuning system, and then you've enhanced your unique weapons up to the amount that you need to while crafting and all that over there at Anais or Inez, or I think whatever. So at the Magisters, so you end up upgrading your stuff over there, getting all the components you need. You weapon readjust, go in here, start clicking on some stuff, having these become craftable. Make sure your gold is good. Again, if your gold is running low, let's go over here real quick to our area. We're doing disrupt invasions. It's giving us some gold so we can keep pushing. You're going to get 1 million here, 1 million here, finish it, do the next one, 1 million, 1 million, 5 million gold. I want to say that's what the math ends up being. So you weapon readjust, you make those those fine adjustment control axes, looking at what your weapon wants and what your weapon doesn't want, holding on to the things that you do want by locking it in. And as you saw, when you lock it in, things become more expensive as you try to really tune that in. Then, well, hopefully you've already weapon readjusted your weapon up to level 100. That's like one of the first things to do. But we're doing the mid-maxing now. We should know about the level readjusting, and knocking that out. So it is infusion. You take a weapon of a lower power, put it into a weapon, put a weapon of higher power into a weapon of lower power, increase that weapon's level by consuming that weapon's level. That's the gist of it. So we did the weapon readjustment. We come over here using different components. We're going to go into our reactor. We're going to enhance it using these dimensional analyzers. very expensive to craft, very expensive to craft. You need the quantum incubators. Quantum incubators can be got from special operations. They can be purchased from the shop that's over here at ETA 0 when it comes up on the weekends, resets back on Monday. So we're doing the reactor option enhancement. We're going over to our reactor. We're optimizing our reactor options. That's weird to say. And then you're using these quantum crystals and nano components, and you're gonna be able to get these again from ETA 0 using the green vouchers that you get from Void Boss Abyss battles, but you're probably not there yet. But we're gonna get those from there. We're gonna get these from breaking down certain components. Let's see, certain components. What are certain components? Let's see, enhancement materials, core materials, basic materials. All right, so you're going to get them from dismantling reactors and playing Sigma Sector. You're going to get a lot from doing Sigma Sector, if I'm not mistaken. Looking at Sigma Sector, doing this here, you get 6,000, 6,000, 1,500 from here. So you end up getting some currencies from here. You end up getting more currencies from here. You get the same thing. Sigma Sector. You want to do Broken Boundary and Isolated Desert. So then we are going into, so we finished that. Now we're tweaking our external components. We're going to go to our external components. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to be using the energy control cores, right? And it takes, at first it takes about 2,000. And then as we get up and up, so let's see, I'm gonna show you in real time. We're gonna enhance this. You can start from blue, make your way up to gold. The more you do it, the more expensive it's gonna cost, and it's gonna eat through your materials the more that it keeps using it. So you want to keep breaking stuff down, but if you try to keep a lot of stuff, you're not breaking stuff down, you're not gonna really make these materials for enhancing your gear. So you're going to have to take a loss, a few losses in order to get these materials by setting your junk filter settings for your components and your external components to kind of like dismantle everything. And it's an easy fix to go over to the junk filter, and you can change the custom settings to dismantle everything, or you can go back to your custom settings, which it did not keep the custom settings. So really thought it would have kept the custom settings. I really would have thought that's what it was for. Let's see. So my custom set, so I didn't apply it, so my custom settings saved. In real time, you saw the panic. I was like, oh man, I don't remember what all I had clicked and highlighted. But that's what you're going to end up doing to break those down more effectively. Making our way around the table. We're going over to the cores, so we're crafting. This one we start from the bottom. We start from the bottom, then we go up. We're going to be crafting the cores, crafting what we can. And then if you do end up getting a lot of cores that you need to in one particular area, you come over to the core conversion. Click on the ones you have a lot of. Click on the ones that you want. So click it. It tells you how much converts over to it. Core conversion. I'm not going to do this because I don't need those cores converted. Not gonna waste that for that. So external components, we can come over here, go down to what we need, what we have equipped. You got to take some time to find it, and then we're going to start putting in what we want here. Now you're going to re-roll this over and over again until you end up getting what you want, but you're going to be needing core particle disruptors in order to keep re-rolling that gear. Void Abyss metal fragments come from beating Void Abyss bosses and doing 400% infiltration operations. You get 250 from there. So you're going to be running those a lot, leveling up your characters. That's going to get you a few thousand running those over and over again, because that's the loop grind for looter shooters, doing the same activity over and over and over again. So that's what we're here for. We're here for the grind, right? So we increase those, and then we want to put our weapon cores in. When we get to our weapon cores, you're going to need a core binder. I don't think I have a weapon that doesn't have a core binder in it, but you're going to take a core binder. You're going to make that from over here using, I want to say, Void Abyss metal fragments. But we can see that, nope, don't have that targeted. Core binders. Jeez Louise. Let's see. Can't seem to find core binders, core binders anywhere. Where are they? Feel like I'm just like breezing past them, but the core binders are in here. I tell you that. Don't know why it's taking so long to find these things. Did I go past it? Oh, it is in my targeted items. Okay, core binders. So these are the core binders. It's going to take Void Abyss and metal fragments. When you are in Axiom Planes, you're going to be working towards getting refined Axiom crystals. Refined Axiom crystals take a lot of these things to go about, but also to get these weapons takes a lot of these. So core particle disruptors, you're going to be wasting a lot of Void Abyss metal fragments making these when you really want to make these. But make these first and then come back and make these second. That's why we focused on Bunny, because at using certain characters like Clay, Ajax, Eugen, nothing else comes to mind for gun descendants, but you get what I'm saying. When it goes into weapons, in order to make that person, that character, that descendant good, you're putting a lot of time and effort into something that you're gonna need to be grinding, but you can't grind effectively because your character isn't going to be effective at grinding because you don't have the stuff. You don't have the stuff to make it the way that it's supposed to be. Core binders and cores. And then when you start hyper focusing on something like that, then you're going to need to pivot from Bunny to Viessa. Now, Viessa is going to be the second descendant that you're going to upgrade. Let me show you why. Let's look at her. Viessa, her weapons don't really matter. All the weapons on her are cherries on top. The set, again, you can use your Slayer set that you've been using, put it on her. It's going to have the same stuff on there that you need. You need to find a decent reactor that's going to give her a little bit of boost, whatever fits your fancy. But most of her skills are going to be used in this manner. The absolute zero build with power beyond, preferably a maxed out power beyond that has, was it both golds? If you got it, I don't know if I got it. I probably don't got it. But she's going to be cooldown, chill, skill, power focused, skill cooldowns. You need, I like the HP on here. I got some skill cooldown, some range cooldown again. So cooldown, 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 cooldown. Say that 10 times fast, because her blizzard you want to cast that really, really fast. I've seen some people change over to her glacial cloud. I don't know how effective that is versus absolute zero. The reason why I say that is because absolute zero works with when you land critical hits, it inflicts frostbite on the target, and the frostbite triggers the ice spheres. I don't know all what glacial cloud does. I don't really have her kitted out for the glacial cloud thing. I would need to throw another catalyst in her in order to freely swap like I want to, and I'm not doing all that. So this is her critical hit, critical hit, critical hit, critical hit, critical hit. And then I got another focus mod, and then I have crit resistance on her because I don't like to go down. When you put on the critical hit resistance, you're like a Colossi. Colossi have critical hit resistance up to a certain amount, but they will hit you critically almost all the time. So when you're taking these main characters into a battle, you probably want some type of critical hit resistance while giving you some bang for your buck while you're fighting them. All right. So Viessa, the reason why Viessa is important, while she's your second, because you've already built mostly into her anyway, besides all the cats and all that, but you're going to be doing the Void Erosion Purge level 10, and enemies are very weak against ice, very weak against electric. We already have Bunny. Very weak against toxic. That's a Freyna thing, Freyna thing, Freyna thing over here in electric. So we can see already Void Erosion Purge level 1, Viessa. Level 2, Viessa. Level 3 is Viessa. Important. You want to build her second. She's going to be your main path that way. Third character you're going to build, well, you already got Bunny, so we're doing electric. Inez used to be the thing to use here, but you can use Bunny. You got a good Bunny. Bunny again. And then we'll get into the Freyna. So by the time you get to this point, you're probably starting to build Freyna out for your third. So 3 female characters, Bunny, Viessa, Freyna, 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 so Freyna. And then we go back to Bunny or Nez, but we already built Bunny. And then we end it with Viessa. So that's the important thing there with the Void Erosion Purge when you're grinding it. Now, could Serena go through here and kill everything with an Albion Cavalry and whatever? Probably, but this has been toned down a lot. You should be able to do it with the characters I'm telling you to do them with little to no resistance from them. It's been nerfed down a lot. Even this one's been nerfed down a lot. Even I was able to complete it with my mediocre builds. So you can see that. Now, when we do it this way, we are set up for the mid-game level success. And this is going to transition us out of early game. From here on, I'll start breaking down mid-game builds and better farming options. And I've showed you a lot of builds on screen. I don't think that they should be a secret when people are kind of trying to describe to you of how to use a character or play a game. I think that it should be out there in front, and I'm going to show you those builds right out front and show you why they're good, why they're bad, how they work, and what they synergize with through my many hours of testing. So once we, like I said, we're going to transition out of mid game, and then we're going to go from mid game to end game after this. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends for those trying to get into the First Descendant. And I'll see you in the next one.